Alrighty, first up, just like last time, we're gonna take a look at Macro Shark Gorgus over here. So just like with comic book Macro Gorgus, Baby Gorgo over here is mostly just going to be mirroring the paint job that the main figure is going to be sporting, if a bit, lesser. You know, because it's a baby. Baby ain't developed his colors yet. It's fine. Overall, the detail that is present here is rather nice, and I do very much enjoy how it really does rep the Aqua Gorgo colors, especially the dry brushing that's going on its back over here. That's very prevalent on the main figure. Literally, the only difference between the two minifigures is just going to be the color. Arms, same pose. Legs, same pose. Hell, the tails are in the same pose. So for that, I must pose you a question. Can I just talk about main figure now, please? Yeah. Oh yeah, Gorginimus over here just looks so cool with blues and whatever's going on over here. I really friggin' love it. I do. First off, I say let's take a look at the less flashier bits. So as you heard at the beginning of the video, Gorgo is blue. Dabba-dee. Oh, but yes, Gorgo is not just blue. Gorgo is going to be featuring this dry brushing, this almost washy-on effect of this other shade of blue, kind of like comic book Gorgo had with the greens. It'll be present all over Gorgo's back, and it's very many a limb, and we're also going to get different shades of blue all throughout. I like what's being done here. I like that it brings out all of the details, and it does offer a second look, a double take, if you will, to really analyze exactly what you're seeing. I'm especially a fan of the bluish green on top of the different blues on Gorgo's head over here. Every side, every angle, it's just gonna look nice. Especially up top here on the head and the ears as well, where you're going to have all of those bumpy textures really popping out with color. The inside of the mouth won't be featuring no blues though, and that's perfectly fine. Especially once you leave that open mouth and get to this almost trend mastery and space Godzilla underbelly. Of course, not as colorful as such, but oh man, the light blue with the flesh tone at the center moving through the thighs to the crotch, to even the underside of the tail. It's just a very cool and very unique little colorway for Gorgo to have. And not for nothing, you could have just sold me on the image on this box alone. I'm an especially large fan of how the feet and toes were handled. Dark blue, moving into a lighter blue, moving into a full-blown Dwight Yoakam white. That is how you handle color progression. That's an actual term. And then moving through the shins and the thighs, you're going to get even more of that, with more of that flesh tone on the crotch pits. But it's here where you start to realize the figure was definitely painted after it was assembled, which may or may not vex you. Doesn't really vex me that much, save for the shoulders. The only other issue I have with this paint job is that it can be a bit on the weak side, and it does discourage me from getting a little too crazy with the torso, because look at this. Why would I want to ruin this? There was already a few scratchies on the major paint job, but they're in the crotch pits, so I'm not too bummed out about it. Got a little one on the neck over here, which I'm sure is entirely my fault. And if I didn't already make mention of this, I just love the overall presentation here. It's like no matter the angle, you're gonna get all these differing shades of blue that just bring it up to the max. Not 3D to the max, though. Every angle, every side, different shades of blue and other undertones. The paint job might be the only new thing about this figure, but I still say that is a praise and sell-worthy thing. How many Hedoras and Shin Godzillas do I have in the movie monster series? Too fucking much. What's another Gorgo? Plus, just look at this stark contrast. Green and blue, light blue, flesh tone. Good show, Titanic Creations. Again, this is just another paint variant, and if you missed out on the comic book version and your favorite color just so happens to be blue and you love Gorgo, I can imagine you already have this. But man, oh man, one of my favorite repaints this year, for sure. Subtle detailings that might take you more than a few looks to fully notice and appreciate. Yes, I'm talking about myself. Other details that are going to be highlighted by the different colors from the palette of this aquatic dinosaurian. And then you've got colors where it's like, yeah, that's supposed to be what claws and toes are supposed to look like, but then you just see how well it was done, and it's like, fuck. Again, my only real complaint is just how weak this underbelly paint can be. And while I don't have any egregious examples of such, I have seen a few, and it does make me worried, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna get crazy with this thing anyway. I wasn't gonna be rubbing another man's rhubarb with this thing either way either. So it's a lovely figure with a somewhat experimental underwater color palette, and how can you be mad? And for the price that it's listed at over on Titanic Creations' website, also, who can be mad? Although before we get into size comparisons, I do just want to say Titanicus is so close to getting there, to getting fully funded, and I would really like to see that figure get its due diligence. It's time under the sun, it's time in the Atlantic. That roar alone is just So please, if you do have the money and if you do have the time, head on over to Titanic Creations and put in a pre-order for that of Titanicus. And with that being said, Nano Shark Gorgo over here is going to be standing over an inch tall. Nearly 2 inches. Nearly-ish. Meanwhile, Gorgo at a neutral stance will be standing well over 5 inches tall. Shokugan, Reaction, Memorial Box Movie Monster Series, King, HGs, Fun, Ultra Kaiju Advance, SH Figure Arts, SH Monster Arts, Big, comic book version Gorgo, classic version pulled pork Atari, finger puppets. Hey, you're back. Now it's time for... When it comes to articulation, the infant over here isn't going to be articulated at all. Nothing was changed there, just the color. Now, when it comes to the Gorgo figure, by and large, overall, if you have any of the prior releases, not too much is different here. Next to nothing, I do believe. There might be some joint tolerance fixes, but for the most part, yeah, it's just Gorgo but blue this time, not green or main one from however long ago. And Gorgo has just about everything a Gorgo could want and or need. Do wish to an extent that the torso could bend down a little bit further, but I don't tool and design figures like that, so I don't know how that would be possible given the build and structure, whatever have you. The ankles on blue Gorgo is still probably the weakest part. They are rather loose. The joints themselves aren't what's loose. I think it's more so just the connection from joint to foot, because when it comes to moving up and down and doing a pivot, that part of the joint is quite tight. Now, the sole update maybe, or I just got lucky, would be in the tail for me. The tail doesn't pop off at all. I have not had a tail pop off once during the production of this here video, and it holds its poses just beautifully. So with all that articulation, of course, we're going to get a plethora of posability for good old Gorgo over here. And I'm really not going to have much else to say here because, as I said, it's just Gorgo, but blue this time. Look at that contrast. I do feel the figure shines its brightest when it's surrounded by Titanic Creations collapsible buildings and bridges and vehicles and all that. It just adds a little bit of sauce, a little bit of snap in its step. I mean, having destroyed buildings and all of that around this figure, it just feels so very complete, so beautiful. And if you have any of the prior Titanic Creations releases that came with buildings or anything like that, I would definitely say bring those into the forefront alongside your Gorgo. Dabba-dee-dabba-die. Not if I was green, I would die. No. Anyway, I've been ShinRobJira. I do so hope you all enjoyed. Mac, Titanic Creations, thank you again so much for hooking it up, fam. And I wish you further luck on Titanicus. I want to see it happen. I really do. And I hope we can all get it there. And that's going to be it for me, friends and neighbors. I've been ShinRobJira. I do so hope you enjoyed. And when next we meet, I have no idea, but I do know one thing. It's not going to be this giant fuck off Godzilla 1991 from the Godzilla Collection era of Bandai's offerings, because the members voted for Showa era to follow up the Millennium series once we finally do start Bandai Vinyl-a-thon. I still have not recorded the finale for Trendmasters-a-thon. There's new stuff coming out next week. One day I'll be back on task.
Move your